The night shift wrapped the construction site in a strange quiet. Steel rods stood like thin trees. Half-built concrete pillars waited for morning. And somewhere beyond the floodlights, darkness sat like a patient witness. The site engineer, Daniel, checked the time on his phone. 11:47 p.m. He was the last person on the project site. The company had pushed the deadline forward, and Daniel stayed late to inspect the foundation trenches near the marsh behind the property. The ground there had always been strange. Too wet. Too soft. The security guard had warned him earlier. So, when night comes, don't go near that waterside. Daniel laughed it off. Engineers deal with soil, pressure, load calculations. Not ghost stories. But now, standing near the muddy trench, he heard something. A wet dragging sound. Like thick ropes being pulled across concrete. He froze. The sound came again. Scrap, drag, scrape. Daniel slowly turned on his flashlight and pointed it toward the marsh. At first he thought it was just tangled pipes or construction debris moving in the water. Then it moved again. Not pipes. Something breathing. Something large. A pale, glistening limb slowly slid over the mud. Long, flexible, covered with circular suckers that tightened against the ground. Daniel's brain tried to reject what his eyes were seeing. It looked like the arm of an octopus. But no octopus should exist here. And definitely not one this big. The limb stretched further out of the water. Then another one followed. Then another. The marsh began to ripple violently. Daniel stepped backward, heart pounding. What the hell is that? Then the creature lifted part of its body from the dark water. Its shape was wrong. Twisted. A mass of writhing tentacles coiling over each other like living cables. Its skin reflected the floodlight in sickly gray flashes. And it was moving toward him. Fast. Daniel ran. His boots slammed against gravel as he sprinted across the construction site. Behind him, the scraping sound grew louder. Wet suction noises slapped against the ground. Slap. Drag. Slap. One of the tentacles whipped across a stack of cement blocks, knocking them down like toys. Daniel didn't look back. He ran toward the temporary site office, where his friend Victor should have been finishing paperwork. Victor had helped him secure this project. A trusted partner, the company called him. Daniel buzzed through the office door. Victor, we need to leave now. Victor sat calmly at the desk. Too calm. Daniel noticed something strange immediately. Victor wasn't surprised. Not even a little. You saw it, Victor said quietly. Daniel's stomach dropped. You knew about that thing. Victor leaned back in the chair. This land wasn't empty when the company bought it. A loud crash echoed outside as the creature dragged itself closer to the building. Victor continued. They told me the marsh held something ancient. Something that doesn't like the ground being disturbed. Daniel stared at him in disbelief. And you still approved the excavation? Victor nodded slowly. They offered a lot of money to keep quiet. Outside, the wall shook violently as something massive slammed into the building. Glass cracked. Daniel's breathing became uneven. You betrayed me, he whispered. Victor's voice carried a hint of regret. They needed someone to supervise the late inspections, someone the creature would notice first. Another tentacle smashed through the office window. Concrete dust exploded into the room. Daniel stumbled backward. Victor stood up slowly, avoiding the shattered glass. I'm sorry, Daniel, he said. Truly. Daniel felt the cold weight of realization settle into his chest. The creature wasn't chasing him by accident. He had been the bait. Another limb slithered through the broken wall, searching, curling, gripping anything it touched. The office lights flickered. Daniel looked at Victor one last time. You could have warned me. Victor didn't answer. The last thing Daniel heard was the sickening sound of suction cups gripping the floor behind him. Then the floodlights outside went dark. The next morning, workers arrived to find the construction site silent. The office was destroyed. Concrete blocks scattered everywhere. Deep circular marks covered the ground as if enormous suction cups had pressed against the earth. Daniel was gone. Victor filed the official report. Engineer missing during night inspection. But years later, some workers still whisper about that marsh. They say when the night is quiet and the ground is wet, you can still hear something moving beneath the mud. Waiting, watching, and learning how humans betray each other. Thank you for listening to this story until the end. True crime is not easy to hear. Your time and attention mean a lot. By listening, you honored the people behind the story, not just the crime. Stay aware, stay thoughtful, and thank you for being here.